Hello and welcome back to another Radical Red Challenge run. Today I'm going to be using Stephen Stone's team from Generation 3, and honestly he has a lot less steel types than I thought he originally had. Up first we've got Aggron with Sturdy, Stealth Rock, Heavy Slam, Body Press, Earthquake, Focus Sash, Claydol to live a hit, and the Levitate ability. We should have Psychic instead of Side Beam, I'll change that. Stealth Rock, Toxic, Protect, Steel Wing, Skarmory, more utility. Skill Link, Armaldo with First Impression and Rock Blast and Pin Missile. Assault Vest, Cradily, pretty standard moveset with the addition of Saki Seed, and then Metagross, Mega Metagross with Tough Claws, Meteor Mash, Bullet Punch, Earthquake and Zen Headbutt. Gonna do a lot of damage. We are facing Lorelei's Ice team. Up first, we lead with our Aggron and Claydol. Thanks to the Focus Sash, we're able to tank a Blizzard with Claydol. Aggron takes quite a lot from the Blizzard, but Ninetales sets up the Aurora Veil. We set up the Sandstorm to get rid of it, and also get rid of the Snow. Heavy Slam is able to one-shot the Ninetales, and Rotom comes in. I do switch out with Claydol into Cradily because it has Storm Drain, meaning we're going to be able to absorb the Scald, which is going to come from the Rotom. We do take massive damage from Glaceon. I was hoping for a dodge from Blizzard because it's no longer 100% accurate because we got rid of the Snow. I am able to do decent damage to the Rotom with Cradily, as Claydol does end up going down. And Glaceon and Rotom keep getting chipped by the Sandstorm. I then go into my Metagross, who's going to be able to outspeed the Glaceon, finish it off with a Meteor Mash, leaving just the Rotom on the field. It does Volt Switch out into Calyrex, and we're able to get a bit of chip with a combination of Energy Ball, Rocks, and Sandstorm. Baxcalibur then comes in, and here I'm actually able to double into the Calyrex because Baxcalibur always clicks Protect on the first turn for some reason. Meteor Mash is able to just do massive damage to the Calyrex and take it out before it can get any boosts from As1. Abomasnow then comes in, resets up the Snow, and Mega Evolves. Hidden Power does a chunk to Metagross, not too much though. We're able to do massive damage in return, as Glade Rush does finish off my Cradily. But I have Armaldo in the back, who has First Impression. We're going to be able to use that to finish off Abomasnow, Meteor Mash the Baxcalibur, who is low enough where one Meteor Mash is going to be able to take it out. We also get an attack buff with Metagross, which isn't needed. There's only a weakened Rotom left. We outspeed, finished off with Zen Headbutt, and down goes Lorelei. Up next is Bruno, and he leads with his Great Tusk. I lead with Claydol. He gets the Stealth Rocks up, but 2 Sidekicks is enough to take out the Great Tusk. We do lose our Focus Sash, but it's no big deal. Claydol did what he needed to do. Urshifu then comes in. I could have switched here to Cradily, but I didn't want to risk the close combat, because that would have done massive damage to Cradily and I need it later in the fight. I do go into Metagross, Mega Evolve, Zen Headbutt, take out the Urshifu, and in comes the Zacian. Gets the Intrepid Sword boost. I go for Earthquake after we live a close combat. Doesn't quite kill, but brings it low enough to where a Bullet Punch will kill. Zacian goes down, Iron Hands comes in. We get faked out, and then I go for Zen Headbutt. It doesn't quite kill, and we don't get the flinch, meaning Metagross does end up going down to the Iron Hands. However, it's low enough to where Armaldo will be able to finish it off. Here I could have gone for first impression, but I wanted to get rid of the rocks first, so I go for Rapid Spin. We tank the Plasma Fist, get the Rapid Spin off, and finish off the Iron Hands next turn with a Rock Blast. In comes Lucario. Unfortunately at +1, Lucario still outspeeds, and Armaldo does go down, but it did what it needed to do. It meant that Aggron can retain its sturdy, because there's no rocks on my side of the field. And then, for some reason, Lucario then goes for Nasty Plot. I'm able to get a free Body Press off, Body Press one more time, and take out Lucario. Living the hit thanks to the sturdy, leaving just the Iron Valiant left on Bruno's team. Shadow Ball does take out Aggron, but my answer to Iron Valiant is the Cradily in the back, with its Assault Vest and Sappy Seed, meaning I'm going to be able to get recovery as well as tank any of the special hits that it wants to throw out. I go for a Sludge Bomb as it gets to +2. We get lucky and get the poison, meaning it's on an even quicker timer now. We tank the Moonblast from the Iron Valiant, take it out with a Sludge Bomb, and down goes Bruno. Agatha is next, and I don't know which team she has yet because both Zoroarks have Illusion. Whichever team it is, the Zoroark switches out, and Gengar comes in. I'm able to get a Sappy Seed off on the Gengar. Earth Power on the next turn as it loses the Levitate ability when it Mega Evolves. We do massive damage, and then thanks to the Sappy Seed, we are actually able to take out the Gengar without taking any damage on Cradily. Golden Go then comes in. I can't click Earth Power because of the Balloon, so I go for Sappy Seed instead. Get the Leech Seed set up, and pop the balloon. We're now getting a bit of recovery. We don't need it yet because we're not taking any damage, but the Golden Go goes for Nasty Plot again. So I go for Earth Power, we chip it down to the red, then I switch into Claydol because I want to preserve Cradily for later in the fight. Make It Rain doesn't take us out thanks to the Focus Sash. I'm then able to protect on the next turn, meaning that the Leech Seed is able to finish off the Golden Go. Fluttermane then comes in. I could have switched here into Metagross, but I want to preserve its HP for later in the fight, so I just let Claydol go down. And instead of going to Metagross, I go to Aggron, because it's less useful later in the fight. I'm able to get a Heavy Slam off and flatten the Fluttermane, as we tank a Shadow Ball, and the Fluttermane goes down. Marshadow then comes in. I can't let a hit from the Marshadow, so Close Combat takes me out. I switch into Skarmory, as the Marshadow goes for a Bulk Up, and I luckily land a Toxic to put it on a timer. I then go for Steel Wing as we tank a Close Combat, bring the Marshadow down below half, and watch as the Toxic racks. Protect for a few more turns, for a few more ticks of Toxic. I go for the double. I don't get it, and Close Combat does take out Skarmory, but Skarmory wasted enough time to where Toxic is able to finish off the Marshadow. I then go into Cradily as Chien-Pao comes out. I go for Sappy Seed. We live the Icicle Crash, just about. Do a chunk of damage to the Chien-Pao, and bring it down low enough to where Metagross is going to be able to come in next turn, Mega Evolve, and Bullet Punch, and finish off the Chen Pao. This leaves just the Zoroark left, and here I go for Bullet Punch because I don't want to risk the Zoroark outspeeding and flinching me with Dark Pulse. 2 Bullet Punches finishes it off, and we make our way through to Lance. Against Lance, I lead with Armaldo, who is able to dodge the Aerodactyl's attack and get a Skill Link Rock Blast to take it out, forcing Dialga in. Against Dialga, I switch into Skarmory, who's able to tank the Flash Cannon pretty well. And then obviously Protect for a bit of recovery. I do end up going for Steel Wing, as it's dead into a bit more damage than what it did. But I get lucky in that I go switch out into Cradily, and I've changed Cradilly's moveset for this specific battle. We're no longer holding the Assault Vest, we're holding the Babiri Berry, which reduces the damage of 2 effective steel hits, and we've changed our ability to Suction Cups, which means Roar of Time's secondary effect of switching us out no longer applies, as we are anchored to the floor. Meaning Dialga's always going to click Roar of Time, and it's never going to switch us out. We're able to stay relatively healthy, thanks to having Protect as well, meaning we get that extra recovery from Leaf Seed on turns where we click Protect, and we can basically stall out the Dialga. And Cradily is actually able to take it out and 1v1 it. The Salamence then comes in, definitely not a Mon that Cradily can 1v1, and it goes down instantly to a Double Edge. But Cradily did what it needed to do. I then send in my Aggron, because it's the most physically bulky Mon I've got. We go for Stone Edge, do massive damage. I didn't want to risk missing, so I go for a Heavy Slam on the next turn, as the Salamence switches out. With the Melmetal in, I do go for Stealth Rock instead of attacking, because I wasn't going to do too much damage to the Melmetal. Like you see, Earthquake only does 25%, 30%, and Aggron goes down. But it did what it needed to do. I then send in Claydol, who I was hoping could finish off the Melmetal with an Earth Power. It doesn't quite have enough damage, and Double Iron Bash ends up taking me out instead. However, I brought the Melmetal low enough to where Skarmory can finish it off at any point. I don't want to finish it off straight away though, because I want to get my HP back. So I end up going for Roost, tank with Thunder Punch, get a bit more recovery, and then finally finish off the Melmetal. The Iron Jugulus then comes in, takes a big chunk from rocks. I get a bit more recovery with my leftovers. Go for Toxic, as I'm hoping to break to not get put to sleep by the Dark Hole. I do get... it didn't actually matter. It didn't matter, I just died. Never mind. I then go into Armaldo. Go for First Impression, because once again, I do not want to risk falling asleep. We do enough damage to the Iron Jugulus though, to where Metagross is going to be able to come in and finish it off. I just go for Bullet Punch, guaranteed outspeed, take out the Iron Jugulus. The Dragonite then comes in. Fortunately, it no longer has multi-scale, meaning Zen Headbutt does a massive amount of damage, and Bullet Punch is able to finish it off on the next turn. Bullet Punch is also able to take out Salamence, and we end up beating Lance. All that's left now is the champion. I lead with Aggron against the Pheromosa, and set up Stealth Rocks. as a U-turns out and Metagross comes in. I do go for Earthquake, as I should live a Meteor Mash and do massive damage to the Metagross in return. Goes for Meteor Mash again. Fortunately, it didn't get an attack buff, so we're able to live, and Fire Punch does eventually take out Aggron. But it did what it needed to do. It set the Stealth Rocks, and did massive damage to the Metagross. Armaldo's able to finish it off with a first impression, as Miraidon comes in. I do go for Rock Blast. Or do I go for Pin Missile? I think I go for... no, I do go for Rock Blast here. Do decent damage to the Miraidon. We get a crit with one of our hits. Bring it down low, but the Miraidon did get a Calm Mind up. Goes for Parabolic Charge. And I would have died, but I did move the Focus Sash to Armaldo for this fight. So then it can 1v1 the Miraidon. We don't quite take out the Miraidon, but we brought it down low. Low enough to where I can send in my... I think I send in Claydol here, because this way it can't go for Parabolic Charge, and I know I'm able to tank a Dragon Pulse. We have Trick Room on Claydol for this fight, just so then we can outspeed the Miraidon and the Eternatus with our slower mons. Earth Power from Cradily finally takes out the Miraidon. Yveltal comes in. I am able to outspeed thanks to the Trick Room, which we set up earlier, land the Sappy Seed as Yveltal goes for Dark Hole. Cradily is incredibly specially bulky, but still takes a massive amount from Dark Hole. I go for Sappy Seed again, just for some damage, as Yveltal does end up taking me out with one more Dark Hole. But we've brought down the Yveltal low enough to where we're going to be able to finish it off with a Meteor Mash on the next turn. I had to wait until the Trick Room expired because I am naturally faster than Yveltal with my Metagross. We live the Flamethrower from Eternatus, take it out with a Zen Headbutt. Pheromosa comes in as I Bullet Punch to take it out, leaving just the Ditto, who transforms into Mega Metagross, which is kind of scary. But I have Skarmory in the back, and I'm pretty confident it's going to go for Earthquake, because it's super effective and it's the only move which would take me out. It does. And now I've got this battle sewn up, because the Ditto is holding a Choice Scarf, and Earthquake cannot touch me unless I click Roost for some reason, which I'm not going to do. So I'm just going to keep kicking Steel Wing until the Metagross / Ditto has to click Struggle. I protect for no reason, and then now knowing that the Struggle is going to take out the Metagross, Skarmory is able to finish off the fight. All in all, a pretty fun team to use. Claydol was a weird one to use because it has a lot of weaknesses, but it came in useful. And I did like Armaldo's new ability Skill Link, meaning Rock Blast could do a lot more damage than it otherwise would. All in all, Metagross was the most important member of the team, but we won the run, and that's all that matters.